Today, building a spiritual ball sack, learning to sit in the cold, hard truth. Welcome to Sacred Grit, a podcast equipping fathers to conquer addiction and overcome inner struggles through physical, mental, and spiritual disciplines so you can become the father your kids love and respect. I'm Jason Lyle. Now let's get to work. In this episode, you'll learn why knowing the answers isn't enough. You have to train for change. How truth feels like judgment but is really love. And how 30 seconds of cold water builds the grit to face reality. This episode is brought to you by Maguziak, Morgan & Brown Dentistry. Hey dude, welcome back to the Sacred Grit Podcast. Good to have you with me again, listening in. Hope you're getting a lot of help from this. On Sunday, we talked a lot about taking off the mask, and I shared with you my affair in 2017 and how that ended up and how hard that was. And I had to leave church, leave my job, 13-year career, man. I mean, I planted the church, started it. It was a cowboy church called the Open Range Church. We met in a barn on Tuesday nights. It was geared toward men and their families. We served a meal we did it on Tuesday night because, you know, most guys I worked with, they were working class guys. And so they didn't want to get up on Sunday morning for their day off and go to church. So we did it on Tuesday night. And we thought, well, people might have kids and, you know, want to get their kids into bed and do dinner and all that stuff. So we served dinner. And it was great. And I mean, it grew, and there was a lot of people's lives changed there. And I brought it crashing down because of my decisions. And I talked about the Coldplay dude, right? And how you could literally see him shrink back when he got caught on the Jumbotron and hide his face when the camera caught him because the mask was off. And you could see the shame crash in. And man, I know exactly how he feels. I remember standing up there and resigning from my church and trying to dance around the truth and give all manner of excuses. And yeah, it was just hard. I mean, it is so freaking hard, man, to just own your shit. And I mean, I wish it wasn't. I wish I could tell you it wasn't, but man, when the worlds collided, I had to face reality. Living two lives was taking me towards death, and I knew it. I mean, I knew I would die at my own hand if I did not get some integrity in my life. It was such a difficult time in my life. And here's the thing. I had all the information I needed, dude. I had years of therapy. I had theology, step work, hours of prayer. Hell, I've got a degree in theology. I mean, I was a pastor. I grew up in church. I had all this information, but I could not get that information downloaded into my body. I couldn't make my outside actions match my inside desires. And this always makes me think about a verse in the Bible where Jesus says, you'll know them by their fruits. You know, it's like you could tell what's on the inside of you because it comes out on the outside of you. And I couldn't just get all that to line up, right? And there was times I would just wonder, man, am I just demon possessed? Because that's what it felt like. It felt like something else was controlling me, like I didn't have control over my life. But it wasn't something else controlling me. It was me. It was just not the me that I wanted to be in control. It was a different version of me that I was trying my best to get a handle on, and I couldn't, but I'm going to tell you how I did. Now, I'm willing to bet you know what I mean. Like, you might not be a womanizing pastor, although maybe you are, and you might not be a raging alcoholic, maybe you are, but I bet there's something you can't seem to get control of. I mean, maybe it's your temper, maybe it's spending, maybe it's the way you keep checking out your own life. So there's all these different things it could be. So, you know, it doesn't have to be some raging addiction. I mean, you might be the guy who goes from hobby to hobby to hobby to hobby to thing to thing to thing to thing. You just, you know, always going on to the next thing. Maybe it's coming home and hitting the couch and turning on Netflix and cracking a beer every single night while your kids play out in the yard. You know, I don't know what it is, but I'm willing to bet that there's something you really don't want to keep doing. And it's causing you to have this mask that you're, you know, really struggling with. And if you've been around church, like, you might have all the answers, but they may as well be written in Chinese, right? Because they don't help when your actions don't line up. I mean, they're just, It's just abstract knowledge. And that's why I'm here to tell you, you can learn to control your behaviors, but it's not going to come from just thinking about or wishing for it. You have got to train for it. Now, here's what I know. God is reality. I mean, maybe there's an old man in the sky who will send back his angry son on a white horse to crush all the sinners. I don't know. But what I do know is truth always catches up. Always. And when you're living a double life, truth feels like that angry God on a white horse, doesn't it? I mean, it's coming to destroy something. And when all this stuff starts to come out, it doesn't matter, if you get a diagnosis of, heart disease or diabetes, or if you, finally get the fourth DUI that sends you to jail, or you're at a Coldplay concert and with your affair partner and get put up on the Jumbotron, right? Like, you can run for a while, you can hide for a while, but that truth is going to catch up. It always does. And the crazy thing is that destruction feels like judgment, but it's actually love. Listen, the greatest thing that could have ever happened to Coldplay is exactly what happened. And the greatest thing that could have happened to me was exactly what happened, because truth is love. And because love is what's best for you and what's best for the people around you. And brother, you and I both know there's no better way to live in truth. The best thing that can happen for you is for the light to be shined into your life. I just know that, it doesn't feel that way when it's happening. It feels like pain and suffering and judgment and all these different things, but it's not, brother. It is freedom. Truth is freedom. Now, on Sacred Sunday, I had you journal the places where you're lying to yourself, right? The places where the truth is going to catch up. And now I want you to get in front of that crash. Now, these things could have been anything, right? Like I'm neglecting my kids, or, I'm not going in the front yard and playing ball, or I'm eating too much sugar, or, I'm drinking too much, smoking too much weed, watching too much porn, having this affair, whatever that might be. I want to help you get in front of that crash. Now, think of it like this. You got to start training for the hard decisions you have to make. And the way you train is by doing hard things on purpose, right? You start training your brain to just be able to do the hard stuff. So every day this week, when you finish your hot shower, I want you to slam that bad boy over to freezing cold for 30 seconds and just stand there and breathe and take it like a man. Just let that cold water hit your chest, turn around, let it hit your back. And here's what will start to happen. Your body's going to scream, right? Get out. But you'll stay. So you'll learn that you can control your response to discomfort. And what's happening in that moment is you're setting off your fight or flight response. It's an autonomic nervous system response. Your prefrontal cortex, where all reason lives, right? Where 1 + 1 = 2, the rational thought goes offline. And this is exactly what happens when you have behaviors when you can't control. You can't get rational thought downloaded into your body, because your body, I won't say your body's acting independent from your brain. I'll just say your body is not accessing truth because you flipped your lid, for lack of better words. And I can talk more about this on a different episode. But if you do this every day, and then maybe after a while you take it up to 1 minute, then you take it to 2 minutes, and then maybe one day you'll get online at thesacredgrit.com and order an ice bath, and you'll be building what I call a spiritual ball sack, the capacity to sit in truth no matter how cold or uncomfortable it feels. Because just like that cold water, dude, you cannot change your past. You're not going to undo the damage you caused. You can undo your choices, but you can decide how you will show up right now. And that is where real change starts. Now, imagine if you and all your buddies and all men, if we could just get them to start doing this, if they learn how to stop running from the cold, hard truth. What if we trained ourselves to face discomfort head on in the cold water in our marriages and our lives instead of numbing it away? Dude, we would raise a generation of men who don't need masks. They don't need to hide. They don't need to run. They could face their truth. And that, my dude, would change everything. Because the man who learns to sit in the cold, hard truth is the man who can finally stop running from his own life. All right, so you learned 3 things. Why knowing the answers isn't enough, you have to train for change. How truth feels like judgment, but is really love. And how 30 seconds of cold water builds the grit to face reality. Dude, thanks for checking in on Sacred Grit, man. I appreciate it. Share with your friends. I'm trying to give you some tools, and I just appreciate you coming back because it's you that makes this thing work for me. In my show notes, there's a Calendly link. I would love to give you a free 15-minute consultation call if you want to hit that link and pick a day. I'd love to have you. And the website is also in there, thesacredgrit.com, for upcoming events. Yeah, man. So this episode is also sponsored by, and you need to listen to this one, Adventures in Recovery. Now, Adventures in Recovery is a group of men. We meet every month. We have alumni events. And then twice a year, we have 3-day, 2-night backpacking trips for the alumni. And then 2 times a year, we have 3-day, 2-night backpacking trips for newcomers. They come into the program that way, and then they're in. We have a social media app that we use called Circle. We communicate with each other, but every month we're doing something. This month we're going rafting on the Nantahala River together. It is just a group of men doing life together. And here's the thing, man. It is totally free. Totally free. We call it Air Georgia, and you can check that out at recoveryadventures.org. All right, my brother. Have a great week.